Hello, Cloud Monks. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, A Cloud Monk. My name is Sachin Singh, and today we are talking about cloud computing. So let's start the cloud journey with this channel. And if you are not subscribing this channel, so please subscribe and share with your friends. So you can also start your cloud journey, right? So let's proceed on the topic. So before cloud computing, let's first understand about the computer and internet, how basically computer and internet works, and after that we will move to the cloud computing, right? So these are the topics which we will cover in this video. Background on computer and internet. After that, we will understand about the cloud computing deployment model of the cloud. We will see the problem solved by the cloud, types of cloud computings, as infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service, and comparison between these three. Right. So let's proceed one by one. So if we talk about the background on computer and internet, like if we talk about components of computers, so in that we have like RAM, random access memory. So basically it's a temporary memory, right? Another component is CPU, where so it's a mind of any computer, right? So without CPU we can't do any operations on computer. So that is also must require for any computer or laptop, right? So CPU should be there, RAM should be there, so that every operation can be stored in some temporary, we can say temporary storage, where we can do the operations on runtime, and after calculation it will save to some permanent storage location. So third component will be our storage, or we can say disk drive or hard drive, right? But when internet came, so internet is just to means what we can do, we can sit here at our home, and with internet we can do everything, like right? So everyone knows what is the internet and how we can use internet in our mobile devices, our computer devices, our laptops, right? So without internet we can't see like different application, we can't see we can't play the games and everything, right? So when internet came, so there is like some new technology came, like client, server, network, IP address, and based on that basically we can deliver the internet to our customers, right? So in Airtel, Jio, what how they are delivering those networks internet to us. So for that there is like some network component we use there, and based on that they are providing internet services to us, right? And what things will be there, like client we call ourselves. So we are the client of internet, right? Server, where we hosted the our applications. So like in our case, if I am using google.com, so google.com is not running on my laptop, it's running on some server, and that application I can access through some website URL, right? So and it should be hosted on some server, and based on the URL I'm using that google.com application, right? So client and network. So if we hosted some application on the any server, but to basically provide that application to everyone on the internet, so for that require network. So require network, so some DNS name we need to create for any web application, and we also need to use router and switches, so that we can deliver the internet service to multiple places by using those router and switches, right? And also some other component is also required for creating the network. So networking concept is very wide, so we can't understand each and everything in single video. For that we need to spend like multiple days, and or we can say multiple months, right? So I'm just giving only the high level overview on these concepts. So IP address is we needed because any server is having some IP address, and based on IP address, so there is two type of IP address. One is private IP address, and one is public IP address. So private IP is required for only for those servers which basically we did not open to the internet. But public IP is required for those servers which we basically we open to the internet. So through public IP, we can access the server. So and that public IP, later on we converted that public IP to the DNS name, because we can't remember any IP address because those are digits and we can't remember like multiple digits. So what we did, we converted those IP address to DNS name, and those are we can remember a lot of names. So like in Google, www.google.com. So this is the DNS name for Google server. And we can't so we don't know the public IP address of the this Google server. We just know the DNS name of Google server, right? And to communicate with any application or any server, what we need to do, we need to send the request, and in return of that request, what we will get some response. So request and response is also needed, right? Without that we can't do any operations on the internet. So this is like on high level overview. So we can see in more details maybe later on when we are digging on these networking concept and API concept. That time we can do in detail, right? So component of server. So means if we have any server, in that server what we should have. So we should have some compute, memory, storage, application, database. So these are the things basically on server should have. So and that is why it will access to publicly. Server basically is a combination of these five things, right? So other than this, if we talk about the components of network, so IP address will be there, firewall will be there, router will be there, switch will be there, DNS server will be there for creating DNS names. So these are the components of network. So on high level, I am talking about these concepts because I need to explain the cloud computing. That is why you should know on high level what are these things, right? And if we talk about problem with traditional computer network approach, in that case, space was required that time. If we are talking about traditional computer approach, if we need to create some server rooms, so space was needed, power supply was needed, cooling environment was needed because it heats a lot those servers, right? So maintenance, time to time maintenance we need to do there. If there is certain hardware failure, then we need to fix those hardware failure. If we need like more CPU, more memory, more hard disk, then in that case we need to upscale hardware. And if we don't need, then we need to downscale the hardware. So those challenges we faced when we are following the traditional computer network approach, right? And we need to monitor those servers if those are running fine or not. So monitoring was also required, DR exercise also required if in certain condition earthquake came or power shutdown happening there in that area, fire is also happening in that area, then in that case we should have some disaster recovery program. So in failure of those networks, we should have some backup, right? So those challenges we faced when we were following the traditional computer network approach, right? So how those problems solved with cloud computing, we will learn now. So cloud computing, if we say definition of cloud computing, so cloud computing is the on-demand delivery of IT resources over the internet with pay as you go pricing. It means whatever we needed as per our demand, we can get those things in the cloud computing. So all IT resources over the internet with pay as you go pricing means whatever we are using, based on that we need to pay only. So we don't need to pay like for the major requirements. If we need only one server, then we only need to pay for one server. So we don't need to pay for 10 servers, so based on the requirement, right? Instead of buying, owning, and maintaining physical data centers and servers, you can access technology services such as computing power, storage, and database on an as needed basis from a cloud provider like AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud Platform, right? So cloud computing we can use like this way. Deployment model of cloud. So deployment model of cloud, so we have three types of deployment model of cloud. One is called private cloud, also known as on-premises cloud, where we have servers, cloud servers on our private location, right? So if I'm from XYZ organization, and we if we are taking some servers on our premises, so for those servers or those environment, we call them private cloud or on premises cloud. But if we are talking about some public cloud, it means that we are using some public cloud provider like AWS, Microsoft Azure, and GCP. So those are like public cloud provider where we are using their services, and based on the services we are paying them. So those are public cloud. And if we are talking about hybrid cloud is a combination of private cloud plus public cloud. So some servers we have for with public private cloud, and some servers we have with public clouds, and our architecture is mixed of both. So that model we call them hybrid cloud, right? And now let's check the problem solved by the cloud. So what we solved: flexibility. We can change one resource type to another once required and needed. So now in cloud we don't we can't basically in the on premises cloud there was the limitation, we can't change one resource type to another resource type. But here in cloud we can do that. Cost effectiveness, pay as you go model we are following, so we can pay only what we use, right? And scalability, we are talking about scale the hardware as per demand. So whenever needed we can scale the demand, hardware demand or server demand, we can say. Elasticity, ability to scale out and scale in whenever required. So if we require more servers, then we can scale those scale out. And if we need only few servers, then we can scale in, right, as per our demand. High availability and fault tolerance, we can build and deploy our cloud application over multiple places so that people can access it fast. Also, it should be highly available if any failure on one place. So like our servers will be on multiple places. If one server go down, we can use another server as a backup. So high availability and fault tolerance is also high on cloud. Agility, we can rapidly develop and test and launch software application on the cloud environment, right? So these are the problem which basically cloud solve for us. So that is why cloud is like more promising thing right in these days. So types of cloud computing, so there is certain different types of cloud computing, and there is three types of cloud computing. One is infrastructure as a service, Second is platform as a service. Third is software as a service. So let's discuss about infrastructure as a service. So it's needed when it's provide whole network, compute, data storage, etc. as a service to its customer. And we are just providing these services to customer, and customer need to focus on application data and manage the underlying infra. So they need to manage that infra, as well as they also need to focus on application and data for infrastructure as a service. Second type is platform as a service. In that case, we need to do in infrastructure as a service, plus also manage the infra environment for you, for us, right? Like OS, any middleware application and runtime environment, that also comes under the platform as a service, and we only need to focus on application and data. Third option is where we are providing software as a service. So its complete product application will be managed by SaaS service provider, and we don't need to focus on anything. So customer don't need to focus on anything. And let's check the comparison between these three cloud platform, or we can say types. So if we talk about on premises, it means our private cloud. So all things, so all these things, application, data, runtime, middleware, OS, virtualization, server, storage, networking, these all things we need to manage in ourselves, right, in on premises cloud. But if we talking about public cloud, in that case, if we are talking about this type, IaaS, infrastructure as a service, so there we just need to what we need to do, we just need to manage only this application, data, runtime, middleware, or OS. Rest of the handle by the cloud provider, right? And if we are talking about platform as a service, in that case, we just need to take care about application and data, and rest of the things will be take care by PaaS provider, right? And if we are talking about SaaS, in that case, everything will be take care by SaaS provider, SaaS application provider, right? So that is why in certain condition, IaaS needed, certain condition PaaS needed, and certain condition SaaS needed. So all cloud-based application, mostly customer now going as SaaS-based approach, because customer don't want to like nowadays don't want to focus on their resources and everything there. They just want to use the application, and based on that they just want to pay as you give model, right? So depend on the requirement, provider is creating the application and giving the services. So these are the like comparison of this three different types of cloud computing. So that's it, and I hope it is clear to you. And if you have any doubt, any question, then please comment on this video, so that I can basically solve those questions in next video, or I can do some live session where I can answer your questions. So I always put some questions on the comments, and that way I think I should get to know, means what is running in your mind, and how I can solve those problems to you, right? So thank you, Cloud Monks. See you in next video. Bye bye.